TikTok people have their heads shoved so far up their bumholes that they think they genuinely know everything. Apparently, you don't have autism because you look too normal, whatever that is supposed to mean. Like, is that not a huge ableist thought process? The fact that an autistic person just cannot look normal. That is just, it's unheard of before. Masking? Or what's that again? I'm sorry. A quote-unquote registered behavioral technician came onto TikTok and did exactly just that. Judged a person based on the way that they look, the way that they talk, and said that they don't seem to have autism because...
And you don't have autism. I'm a registered behavior technician, which means I work with kids on the spectrum, on the regs, day to day. I've seen all different kinds of cases, all different kinds of clients, wonderful, wonderful kiddos from ages, I think the youngest that I've ever been with was 2 years old, and the oldest that I've ever been a therapist to was maybe 7.
But the problem is, you are judging a grown-up person. It sounds like you work closely with just children, and it is so offensive because autism presents differently in children versus adults. I mean, you should know this, shouldn't you? With the basic 40-hour course that you gotta do, and then boom, you're a registered behavioral technician where you can get up onto TikTok and judge people for what autism they do and don't have. I'm sorry, but you are not in the place to be telling people if they have autism or if they don't.
I know that you're an adult, and I haven't worked with an adult who has autism, but as somebody who has seen the traits of autism in kids,
absolutely
and
not.
How those traits will carry with them throughout their life, I can definitely with confidence tell you don't have autism. I'm sure you have a diagnosis. It's very easy to get a diagnosis.
Okay, if we're going to play this game, then it's very easy to be called a registered behavioral technician. Like, I am not dissing your job at all, and I think that it is very important for behavioral technicians to even exist. I just think that it's really low to say that, well, you know, I worked with this 2-year-old who presented symptoms differently than an adult person who has autism. I mean, you said it yourself. You've never actually worked with an adult who has autism, and it's really not that simple to get a diagnosis for autism. My personal practitioner wanted me to go ahead and get, you know, a diagnosis for autism because she believed that I presented symptoms as an autistic adult. Now, obviously, haven't done it yet because, you know, life. But how invalidating is it to hear that someone who works closely with autistic children says that you don't actually have autism? The way that your life has panned out for you, and there are things that you don't understand from a neurotypical point of view. You're neurodivergent, so you only have the experience as a neurodivergent person, and once people get that diagnosis, a lot of things start making sense to them. They feel less weird. They feel less, you know, like they are an outsider to this world. And it's just, this was not it. In fact, it was embarrassing because we are going to watch the person that this person stitched originally saying that you don't have autism. I just know it because I saw you on TikTok and, you know, you present very normal. Like, what do you think? What are you saying about autistic people then?
You don't have autism. I'm a registered behavior technician, which means I work with kids on the spectrum.
We have to talk about this. This person just said that they are a registered, licensed professional when it comes to autism and that they are 100% positive that I don't have it. How long does it take for you to typically diagnose somebody with autism? Is it the length of my edited video?
Sweetheart, this person is not qualified in the field to even give a diagnosis for autism. And we will explain exactly what a behavioral technician does, because it's not like they assess people and they test people and...
Or do you do like lots and lots of like research and like testing? They literally said in this video that I personally need to leave the diagnosis to people who actually need it. And you know what? It really concerns me that you are a professional in this field and you look at a heavily edited video and tell me, without knowing me literally whatsoever, that I don't have it. Why? Is it because my autism shows up differently than you're used to? Is it because you think that I'm normal, it like actually genuinely makes me so concerned. People that you are diagnosing and not diagnosing, because my diagnosis literally saved my life. It made how I operate make so much more sense, made me feel so much less alone, and it changed my life. I worked closely for 10 years with an autism specialist. And you think that I don't have autism based off of a edited video you saw on TikTok. I guarantee you the maximum amount of videos that you have watched on my page is probably 4. Listen, like, I know this.
This is what's really offensive about people who aren't qualified whatsoever to say, well, you're not autistic, you're not autistic, you're autistic, you're autistic. Like, this is what's really damaging to the topic of autism, because the person who is accusing this person of not having autism is basically saying that you can't appear normal. You can't look normal. You can't act normal if you have autism. You have to act a certain way to be autistic. And how ableist is that? Because this person, especially if they work really closely with autistic children, should know what masking means. It is just frustrating to me whenever I see people who think they're qualified in a field to just be like, well, you don't have autism because you're too normal. So what exactly is a behavioral technician? They are somebody who helps implement treatment plans customized to an individual's needs in hospitals or schools. They provide support and guidance as needed to help the patients understand and adjust their coping skills. Behavioral technicians are in no place to diagnose autism or to discredit and or invalidate one's autism, as it is a spectrum. Now, this really didn't have the best ending for the person who accused an autistic person of not being autistic. Somebody at this person's workplace said the following, and it's a bummer because just you didn't need to make the TikTok. And I know exactly why people like this make TikToks like this, but we'll get into that in a second. Several clients saw her videos and wanted to pull services. I don't think our boss wanted to fire her, but ended up doing so. So you lost your job. No, it's just, I feel bad for this person in a way where it's like, you lost your job because your ego and your ignorance took over that bad that you had to make a TikTok about somebody that you don't know. You don't know these people on the internet. Because to be quite honest, I could get up on here and say, well, actually, I don't think you're a behavioral technician. I don't see it, man. I don't see it. You don't look like the person who would have that license. Do you see how up that would be? But no, it's okay, because just as long as someone looks normal, presents normal, talks normal, acts normal, it's okay to go ahead and discredit their autism and take that diagnosis away from them. When this chick literally said she was in the process of getting this diagnosis for 10 years. See how you didn't know that? See how, like, you're not a know-it-all? And so I definitely feel for the people out there who have had their autism invalidated or discredited because they're not autistic enough. And I just think that that is just, it's toxic and it's damaging. Anyways, I was on my For You page and I seen this all go down in real time while I was sick this week. And I just really wanted to talk about it because it struck a chord with me. How are you gonna... Oh my God, I'm sick of TikTok people. Stop accusing people of things that you don't know. Like, you just don't know this person. How? Oh my God. I think I'm just overcome with stupidity, man. How? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna stop now. I'm gonna shush. Thank you so much for joining me in another one of my videos. If you would like to give your thoughts and opinions, I'd love to hear them. Thank you so much for your time today, everybody, and I hope to see you again in another video. Take care of yourselves, and most of all, love your fucking selves.